How many times did you jerk off during the album?
A bunch.
A bunch.
So
Well, we know the first track.
Conjecture.
Yeah.
Alright, so first track on the album is called Conjecture, and this is an instrumental we put together. It's kind of influenced by Rush and prog rock, maybe a bit of like...
I mean, it was kind of improv anyways, to begin with, so...
It was kind of improv.
Yeah.
We wrote it when Aaron was still in the band, and he had although Roder played on the recording that's on the album.
Because we had to get the times right, yeah.
Yeah. Well, we first started off with like a demo, and we showed it to Roder, and he liked it, and it kind of sets the tone of the album, and has a bit of cool little fills and different beats going on. So it's something that sets off the album, and yeah, there you go. All right, so track 2 is The Speech. And this is the first of the skit tracks on the album, and yeah.
It started out as just the speech like itself, like just the writing as a skit, and I had the crowd noise thing in the background and whatnot. But then I was like, maybe we should play like a riff behind the speech. So we came up with that one pretty much on the spot.
Yeah,
because it's a reoccurring riff throughout the album
Yeah.
on like 3 other songs as well.
like a musical motif.
Yeah, exactly. So
I think it was the last thing we recorded for the album. So
I think it was last
Yeah.
time.
yeah. So kind of starts off the whole story of it, the like fascist
drug corporation.
corporation
That's taking over government.
So there you go, The Speech.
Thanks, corporation. Right.
All right, so track 3. Track 3 on the album is called The Corporation. And this is we wrote this one a while back. It was like I said, Stillman Aaron was in the band, and I think you can tell kind of his style of writing on the riffs for sure, a little like Phil kind of thing. And
Yeah, Aaron's bass fills are wild, bro. They're so crazy.
it definitely
Not that Ryder's bad by any means, but it's a different style.
I can't touch
it's a
it.
different style. And whenever you try to do it, you're like, nah, I'm just gonna do my own thing. And I'm like, nah,
Yeah.
fair.
So this is one that Aaron did play on, and it's cool. It has like that grunge kind of hard rock feel, but also I'd say like a bit of I don't know, a bit of like maybe prog in there with the kind of like fill thing. I'm pretty proud of the drumming on there. I've got some cool little double bass parts in there that maybe you don't normally hear in grunge. So people have complimented me on that over the years on my double bass kind of work. And I think it just, it's a great opener. I mean, this is the first real song on the album.
Song,
yeah, this one sets the whole story in motion of the evil corporation.
And it's a really fucking, it's a really cool song in terms of, like, its structure. I like it. And obviously, lyrically, this whole album, I went, like, crazy trying to write, like, a story. And it's kind of there. It's not quite, probably, as detailed as I would want it, but it's really hard to, like, write a coherent story over multiple tracks. So,
Me
like,
personally, I think it's detailed enough. You don't want to be like
Yeah,
once upon a
yeah,
time.
you know. It's true, yeah, for sure.
There you go, corporation. All right, track. What are we at now? Track 4, I think. Yeah, track 4 is Rx. And I've heard some people say Raporex. Some people, but we call
it's Reparix. Yeah.
It's pretty much a made-up word, and it's the drug that is, I guess, an addictive mind control kind of thing. It can be whatever you want.
It's like a drug that makes people docile.
Yeah, and
I literally looked at designer drug names for like a long while, and I had like the Rx1 album in mind, and I was like, well, it has to have like an R and an X. So I was trying to come up with stuff, and a lot of drugs have X's at the name of them, so I was like, well, that's kind of easy, and I just make up something. So I was like, Reparix, and I was like, there you go, that's that. But
Sounds like something from like Fallout or something.
it could be, yeah, something like that. Yeah, right? But yeah, it's another cool song, another fast one. Like, the album starts off, it's pretty aggressive.
stuff with some
like, right up
bangers.
until,
yeah, definitely.
up
It
until
definitely
next hits.
got that grind. And I remember, too, this is a riff that we had a while back, but like I said, this is one that Roder plays on. But we had the riff being back, say, when Aaron was in the band, and I remember it was something completely different, but that one riff, like the main kind of riff, was the only one that I really liked. So we took that riff and then we kind of rewrote into what became Rx.
We got rid of everything else.
So yeah, we got rid of everything else from like an old demo and rewrote it with, like I said, Rodder's input as well, and that became
a really fun song.
It's a fun song. It's got a sick video. You guys check it out.
The video's sick.
So
everyone says the video is cool. So everyone I've talked to.
It's Rx.
So that's what I eat.
Now we're up to track number 5, and this is The Meeting. And this was, like I said, another skit track that kind of sets the storyline. The sounds and this kind of soundscape is something I made with like synths and Logic kind of plugins. It's kind of cool. And it's a throwback to the
voice changers and stuff.
Yeah, voice changers as well, because Kyle came up with the script, I guess you could say, of the dialogue, and between myself and I do like the affected kind of voices, and I guess Kyle's character was kind of like the corporate head or the dictator, and Barter's character was the doctor.
In my villain era.
So yeah, so we're all kind of playing characters, and this is like a cool narrative thing that, you know, I mean, a lot of bands, I don't know of any band locally that's done anything like this, so it's just a real kind of adds the theatrical side.
We're different. No, but like, yeah, I wrote all the skit tracks all at the same time. The skit tracks were pretty much written before any of the lyrics for the actual album, so I mean, they were ready to go right away, but they were like the last thing that we did.
That's the speed.
Yeah, it's
Writers presenting.
It's a sick skit. It really is, yeah. Rx2.
Imagine if we had a manager, they'd be like, we can't hear nothing.
They're like, get this guy out of your fucking band real quick.
Hi, Ryder, this is Paul.
Yeah, you're fired.
Alright, so now we're up to, I think, track number 6. And this is Shake the Feeling. And this is one that we had for a while, was kind of sitting in the demo phase. Actually, no, this
one might have even been like partly written during Sweet, honestly, I think.
I think so. It definitely has a lot of the Sweet kind of vibe, which was our last EP. And when we did that, we were really exploring the kind of like shoegaze and post-punk kind of vibes. And this one is definitely could have easily been on that album because it has that melancholy kind of.
There's another Aaron one too.
Yeah, Aaron also plays on this one. Shout out to Aaron.
Love you, buddy.
For killing it on the album and all our other albums. But yeah, it was cool with this one that, you know, to have that melancholy kind of take it down a little bit and have that influence, but not like something that I think it adds to the atmosphere more, and it doesn't like take away from the feel, because so much of, you know, I keep saying like the mixtape vibe, you don't want your album to, like, you want it to be diverse, but you don't want to have it sound where it's like different styles and different things coming at you from all angles. It doesn't sound cohesive.
But it fits into the story too that way, right?
Yeah.
Because like this is all the songs kind of are from different perspectives to a certain degree. So some of the songs are from the corporation's perspective, some of them are the corporation and the people, some of them are the main character, Mike's character, and then this one specifically is partly the doctor's point of view. Because the doctor is in this meeting with the CEOs and stuff like that, and he kind of can't shake this feeling that like there's a lot of wrongdoing going on, and he kind of feels bad for like pushing this drug on people. So when he does have his next appointment with Mike's character, he's adamant at not pushing it. You know,
It's cool. I never thought of it that way.
you know.
Learn something new every day.
I have a what is it? I have empathy. I have a conscience. I don't like that we're doing that to him.
Yeah.
Because I'm a good doctor.
So the next track is The Doctor. And obviously this is a layover from Rx1, where we had another track called Doctor. And it was pretty much my character on the album, who was like the patient or the also the martyr, you could say, in this album. And he's going to his doctor for, you know, a prescription, some relief from his mental health and problems. And I guess it was a bit of a different feel this time, where it's a different story. So
Yeah, well, it was originally written for Aaron. I had it all written for Aaron, but then when Aaron exited, that's how long we had the skits written, really. When Aaron exited, I was like, well, I'm going to have to rewrite it. So then I was like, well, he can be like a fill-in doctor that's like filling in for Aaron's doctor.
New bass
Where
player,
Aaron's
new-
doctor probably would have been like evil and pushing it. He's not, and he has remorse about it. So, you know, he
I like
really
that a
really
lot,
wants it because he's seen an ad on TV talking about how good it is and how it's going to change his life. And then he's like, I don't want to give it to you because he knows what, but he can't say it out loud to him. So he ends up leaving the doctor's office angry and comes back later for some other stuff. So
I couldn't say the quiet part out loud, you know?
yeah,
exactly.
And again, Kyle had the whole kind of idea for the doll, so it was even like, I guess in my mind, how the story was going to go. It went a completely different way, which is cool because like we all kind of contributed on, I guess, the overall themes and ideas of the narrative. So it was really cool how it could go a different way.
And you nailed the fucking sounds too, because like every sound that I had written down in the script is like in the actual song.
That's cool.
Dude,
yeah.
I'm always like, man, that's freaking cool. It's like
And
the door
again-
closes and you can hear it.
And again, it was a throwback to Rx1, which has a similar feel. So if anyone's wondering what this whole doctor thing is about, go listen to Rx1 or Rx.
I also kind of like the like psychedelic vibe you get when like, particularly it's like Mike's character's talking. It's almost like you hear like the sound effects in the background, like the
Like
volume
he's
kind
like
of
in
ramps
his
up
head.
and shit. So
Yeah.
like you can really tell it's like it almost seems like Mike's in like such a
That's part of it.
negative,
Yeah.
distressed
It's-
headspace,
yeah.
and then when it cuts back to me talking, the volume kind of drops. So it's kind of like you see that separation
Yeah.
between
It's
the
supposed
two.
to create. See
It's
that?
cool.
That's
It's
what I was
really
going
cool.
for. That's what I was going for. So there you go, the doctor. All right, now we're up to I don't even know what number, but the next track is Awakening, and this one was, you know, really had that heavy Doom, Alice in Chains kind of vibe.
This is an Aaron one too, right?
It's another,
Yeah.
Aaron also played on this one, and for those of you wondering who played on what, and we had this one kind of sitting around for a while, and it was just a cool, you know, I mean, we've said many times Alice in Chains is one of our biggest influences for forming this band. We love that band, and you know, it just has that gritty kind of, you know, sludgy sound, and I think like
And
this,
like a poppy chorus.
yeah, that's another thing that's kind of the Chains thing, is like bringing it up a little
Yeah.
bit in the chorus to just have that kind of contrast, you know.
And he was already going that direction with the song, so then lyrically and vocally we went like all in on that too. Just trying to get, not really copy, but like, you know, it's like a tribute of sorts, I guess, to a certain degree.
Absolutely.
And then like it's my that I always have favorites. I pick favorites for my children, and this is definitely my favorite off the album.
That's one of my favorites. Yeah.
I really like this song, and every time I hear it, I'm like, man, I like how it goes from the doctor skit where it's really quiet, and then it's just like boom, boom.
Well, that was kind of my
like a
idea.
Oh,
too,
yeah,
of
yeah,
how,
yeah.
like,
so
Like
loud,
that.
too. I
like
was
how he
yeah.
leaves the doctor. I remember like the
Scared the
first
crap out of me.
idea we had too is that like it was gonna kill the doctor was like the original idea. I couldn't work in the whole like killing.
I mean, we worked it in anyways, technically.
In a way, yeah. If you can kind of like imagine what happens in the story, but there's also cool little samples in there from like old 50s like drug documentaries that are like the little voices and stuff in the middle part. So
Yeah.
that
That turned out cool.
worked in cool. So there you go. There's Awakening.
Wake up, sheeple.
Oh god. Me?
No, Rider.
Oh.
This next track is this next track is Unraveled. This is probably my favorite track off the record personally. I'm a little biased though because it's one that like right when I joined started getting
first
written.
one
One of the
wrote-
first songs you wrote with us, really.
First
yeah.
Yeah. It's I don't know, that riff's fucking nasty. I like where the whole song goes though overall. I think it has a lot of cool stuff in it. You know, that chorus goes kind of like in a major shift
Yeah,
where it gets kind of
from,
like
like, the minor,
happy
yeah.
again. A
Yeah.
little bit of that Alice in Chains
More of that
kind of
Alice in
vibe.
Chains.
Yeah, more of that too.
I've heard of people also say it had almost like an acid bath kind of vibe, which is interesting.
Yeah.
You know,
I mean, not quite
Which is
screamy,
interesting.
but-
not quite as yeah. I mean, They're a pretty diverse band, so when maybe if I can hear maybe a little bit of it. So hey, if people are gonna compare us to Acid Bath, go right ahead. That's an honor.
Yeah.
So yeah, story wise, this one is more like is more of where our character is kind of like seeing the unraveling of what's going on to a certain degree, and he's also seeing and the people are seeing what's going on more so probably than the character. But yeah, writing this one was like super easy because it was literally I was sitting at home and I wrote this fucking riff, and then Ryder messaged me while I was writing it, and you were with it like, and I was just like, man, I've got like the pre-chorus riff like right here. Like, and they fit together so perfectly. It was like weird how it happened.
That's a cool synchronicity there for sure.
Yeah, because we were like not even in the same fucking city. So yeah, that was interesting, and it turned out really good. It's also one of my favorites on the album.
Unraveled. All right, so now we're up to another one of my favorites on the album, which is Something We Don't Know. And this is the, I guess, I was like the pop punk track of the album, which is something that, between like the grunge side, the metal side, there's also a big punk side in this band. And I feel like we've had something like that on almost every album. There's always like one or two just like straight up punk kind of songs. And I think that comes from, bands like Nirvana and, like the Moths. I know you love them. Have like that kind of grungy
Kim's a Goddess
kind of vibe, yeah. So I'd say that's probably the influence on a track like that for sure.
Kind of hear a bit of like the Gets too, a little bit.
Oh yeah, I mean, like this song, honestly, like from the time that we wrote this song, I fucking hated it because I was like, this is not gonna fit. Like, it's so out of place.
It's
like,
not, yeah.
And like, if you listen to the rough cut version of it, like without vocals and shit, like it's a completely different song. And after vocals are added to it, and even when I was like reacting to it on stream, like I was like I'm like, this is also like one of my favorites on the album. Like, I really like it. And lyrically, it was made to be kind of like subliminal.
Yeah.
The lyrics don't mean what they're actually saying in it on the first part, and then the second part is kind of like me getting more real, and then the third part is me literally telling you that the like first verse and stuff isn't just straight the lyrics. You know what I mean?
It's kind of like the surrogate band from The Wall.
Yeah, kind of. Like, yeah, it's supposed to be from Jaden's point of view, right?
Yeah.
Really, so it's our point of view on this whole thing going down, so it made sense that way. But yeah, it's a great song. It turned out really cool, and then it has the explosion at the end of it. Is that this one or no?
Yeah, that's the next one. So stay tuned.
Okay.
Headphones, man, driving out on the bus, dude. That fucking slams.
The
explosions, the fucking.
Yeah. And it sounds like glass shatter. It really had a cool glass shattering effect.
Dude, it sounds like Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Yeah.
So
cool. John Cena or something.
Alright, so now we're up to, I think this is my favorite track on the album, one of my two favorites. And this is called Fortunate Ones. And the working title for this was The Stones, because it has a real kind of funky 70s, almost like classic rock vibe, with the wah going, and there's another Aaron song.
Definitely an Aaron
song.
Yeah, Ryder could not play on this song.
Well, I mean, like, Aaron adores, like, blues music and stuff like that, and so do I. Like, I love Rory Gallagher and stuff like that, so, like, it's really influenced by that for me.
Yeah.
So. It was something that we definitely haven't done before, but something, like I said, although it is one of the, more different songs on the album, it doesn't really sound out of place to me. I think it's a cool, like, kind of, change up, and also the lyrically, I think it has a lot of kind of like, well, what you did with the lyrics gave it a lot of that kind of 60s protest kind of feel with like fucking like, like wake up, watch out, and then like stuff like that. It's almost like, I don't know if that's what you intended, but
yeah, well, I was trying to keep it like punchy because I went back and listened to just like a bunch of like 60s rock and 70s rock and like a lot of Rory Gallagher and stuff like that.
Nice.
So that stuff really helped me with like writing that, because it's something we haven't done, and that was another one on the album that I liked the sound, but I was like, I don't know if this is gonna make the album because it's so out of place, but it works perfectly.
Yeah.
And this is kind of like the turning point to a certain degree where everyone's kind of starting to fight back a little bit. So it's not necessarily violently fight back, but this is the mentality.
It ends with an explosion, which is kind of like, not condoning any violence, but again, it's part of the narrative.
I am. Get on the streets.
So you can imagine where...
Go
Let's
Luigi somebody.
Oh, God.
Oh,
Lord.
dude, they're gonna try and hit him with the death penalty, dude. That's bullshit.
Be, man, yeah. Alright, so now we're up to track number 12, and this is another skit track, and this is called The Manifesto. And I guess a kind of theme that was... Now, this was before that whole thing happened, but I guess the theme through the album is, like, corporations and not so much vigilante, but, like, revolutionary kind of mentality. So when the whole Luigi Mangione thing happened in New York, we were kind of like, wow, this is almost like life imitating art, because, it's a crazy thing that happened. And I mean, like I said, I guess people have their own opinions on him or whatever, but I thought that, okay, this is something that we really need to tie the story together with my character and like how he turned out. So obviously I'm speaking the manifesto. I thought, okay, this would be a cool way to add to the story to kind of... When I listened to it, it didn't feel complete as a narrative. And that idea came to me, I guess, kind of directly from the Luigi case. And, yeah... This was, I guess you could say this is one like I did all on my own. So, it was kind of, I had like the pen scratching, which is from like, Stan by Eminem.
Yeah.
That whole idea. So,
so that
instead of Hey Slim, it's like, hey
Dear
people.
Slim.
Hey people, don't let the government push you around.
It's more what it's like.
Non-violent
That's
resistance.
the whole album is that theme, right? It's not like, I hate saying like the wake up shit because it's so cliched.
Yeah.
And it's not really that. It's more like just like pay attention
If you're not
to what's going on and like educate yourself. Go watch like different news things. Don't just watch one news source. Go read for yourself. Don't just take your information from everybody else. And I was like, I want to make an album themed around that, but to the absolute extreme where there's like a fascist dictatorship. And, it was more like a life imitates art thing ended up happening afterwards. So, like, everything kind of just was crazy to see like that. But, yeah. But it was cool. It's a cool addition. I like it.
Just don't get caught flirting with anyone at McDonald's. 3 British silence.
Well, that's why he had to, like, reload it every time, right? Because it would jam because it didn't have, like, the blowback thing that silencers have.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, if you watch all these videos, thanks for watching. And now we're at the end of the album. And this track's called The Murder. Or
No, 90 Seconds of Midnight.
And then the murder.
Damn it, Mike.
I'll edit that.
Damn it, Mike. No.
All right. This next track is called 90 Seconds to Midnight. And this is probably my favorite song on the album. It has a real grunge kind of feel, and it was it's cool how we wrote it. I had kind of an idea of a riff that I started out with, or at least like one little spot on the guitar, and I showed it to Kyle, and he pretty much took it and ran with it and came up with like,
happens a lot.
Yeah, it's kind of the way we collaborate, like one person might have an idea and, show it to the next guy, and they might take it to, and it was cool because I thought like what he brought to the riff, or the idea that I had anyway, was something completely different that I never would have thought of on my own. So it was really cool how, we can collaborate like that, and everyone can get ideas and be open to different kind of influences,
Yeah, it's this is one of those songs that I was like, well, I mean, we pretty much like wrote most of it like in one like jam in terms of in terms
came
of the
really
rest
quick.
of the riffs after the main one.
Absolutely.
And
yeah.
I've always like this song is like really like mid '90s grunge. It reminds you of something that like maybe like Stone Temple Pilots or like Pearl Jam or something would do more.
In a way,
more
yeah.
so because the riff is like kind of it's like not depressing. It's like a little bit happier. You know,
it has a bit of
Kind of reminds me of like bands like Stars, like that song like Hum and like
yeah, that's what I mean. It's almost
like
post grunge,
yeah,
almost post grunge a little bit, yeah. Which I really like because I'm not a huge fan of most post grunge stuff, but there's a few that I'm a fan of for sure, and it's a cool riff. So I mean, we wrote the whole song pretty quickly, and this is the song where the people start turning on the fascist government and start fighting back violently. Yeah, so this is really like the turning point of the album because like our main character is supposedly dead, and that's kind of what sets it off, you know.
After the manifesto for sure.
Yeah,
it's like So there you go, 90 Seconds to Midnight.
Did I count 6 times or did I count 5?
All right, now we're to the last track on the album, and this one's called Martyr. And I guess the whole idea of the album with revolution and just, resistance against tyranny, political, what have you. It all culminates, I think, lyrically in this song. And I mean, musically, it's probably more of that, like, shoegaze kind of dreamy kind of feel, which I think, I think a lot of people... It's something that, we did, like I said, on the last EP, and I think it's something that is a cool addition to the band, to, amongst all the heaviness. It's cool to have a little relief of some more kind of dreamy, like, different vibe,
Yeah, well, we got, like, the 2 soft songs, that one and Shake Feeling, so it's like...
Balances out well.
Yeah, and that one's, like, midway through the album. This one's kind of like the ending where everything's kind of... I mean, like, there's not really a tied up storyline at the end, right?
It's a bit of a cliffhanger.
It's left ambiguous, so on purpose. So it works out that way too. And like lyrically, this was one of the earliest ones I wrote, and it was originally called Zealot instead of Martyr. But I thought Martyr made a lot more sense when I had to go back. Because a lot of the names changed as well when I had to go back and rewrite after Aaron left, when I had to change kind of like the story, because I was like, well, I don't want to have the same doctor, I'm going to change this. So some of the things changed a bit around, and that ended up changing as well. Because I had the names for a lot of these songs before the songs are written. Like, I kind of knew, like, because we said we were going to do this many songs, and I'm like, okay, well, it's going to be like this.
A lot of the story was kind of mapped out before, I guess, a lot of the the lyric. We were tossing around the ideas for a while, so, and even like before it was written, because again, this is another one that we wrote when Marauder joined the band, so it just really ties everything together, and it's ambiguous. It's like, did the character die? Did he win? Did the corporation win? I guess you guys got to make that up for yourself.
I mean, for me, it's left ambiguous not to be able to do a sequel album or something like that and self-promo. It's more or less just to be like, the outcome with that stuff can kind of go either way. But when something like that's going on, I mean, chances are going to be taken. So that's just kind of how it is. You push people too much, that's what happens.
It's like a FromSoft game. You got to make up your own lore.
I don't know if I'd go that far about FromSoft, but... Those are masterpieces.
Yeah, but you kind of do. Like Elden Ring, man. You gotta make up some of that stuff.
Jaded Ring.
Jaded Ring?